Happy Friday the 13th. Oh, we all enjoy this special day, but it's a bit more special today, especially. Why? Because it's predictions time. So, you may wonder, where have I been? Because I should have covered NXT TakeOver. Oh, what was it called? Cardiff? Oof, it's been a while. That was a good show, but I'll explain. That weekend, there was enough shows going on. There was the New Japan show, can't remember the name of that. There was TakeOver, and there was AEW's All Out. I had enough going on at that time, so I decided not going to do YouTube that weekend because I know everybody else is doing it. Everyone else is going to do their live streams, their immediate coverage. But I am back for Clash of Champions. How's everybody doing? Your boy here, Apollo from Down, Down, Up, Up, still sporting the mask. Special one for today. Happy Friday the 13th. Watch your backs. But now it is time for some WWE predictions, baby. Yes, you are all ready for what is about to come. A very potentially good show could be coming our way. There's a lot of things they can do for the show, and spoiler, I'm going to be taking some risks for these predictions. As always, thank you to the wonderful brethren of Cultaholic.com. I watched their predictions earlier and also got caught up to see if there was any new matches made. I haven't heard anything new today, so apologies if anything gets lately announced. I don't think it should, though. We've got 11 matches planned for this show, plus something with the 24/7 championship that has yet to be announced. I will also be doing predictions for that, not a huge prediction of things to come, but a simple prediction. I'll be going through the matches per usual, giving my thoughts on what I believe is to come. So without further ado, let's kick this thing off. Now, as I said, I think I'm going to get this out of the way early. Let's talk about the 24/7 championship picture. So R-Truth is a champion. That's fantastic, but he has to defend it in some way, shape, or form at this show. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to do just a huge battle royal or something? Anyone feel free to come out and just have a big clash for it? Just a simple match late announced? Or will the title just be defended constantly throughout the night, backstage, in the parking lot, in the ring maybe for some of it? What do you think? Because I'm not willing to predict that much, but I will make a bold prediction. As my camera makes noise, I shall make my noise of who I see will win this title setup. I think that a new champion will be crowned at this show, but my prediction is R-Truth is not leaving the show as champion. I think someone else will win the title. I think somebody new will come into this whole setup. Whether it's someone who is yet to be champion, someone who's already been in the running fray, just something new, something new and entertaining. Somebody gets it. Maybe Aleister Black or Cesaro, something just a bit more top-notch leaves with the title. So there's my prediction. R-Truth is not leaving the show with the championship. Done. Moving on. Let's discuss the actual announced matches. So, first off, most likely the kickoff match, although this time I disagree. I think the Women's Tag Team Championship match should be on the kickoff this time. Not much investment in that, except for what I believe to be. But let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about the Cruiserweight Championship match. So, first of all, it seems like 205 Live is coming to an end soon. Pretty, in some fans' opinions, disappointing, pretty controversial, but I see it as a smart move because the brand hopefully will go to NXT. The championship will be under the NXT's roster, and that just means we get more good things out of NXT. 205 Live is a great show, but it still just doesn't get enough attention being a 1-hour show. Put it together with NXT. I mean, as long as you're directing it the same way you were for the past year and a half, it should be fun as ever. So I'm not complaining about that. But still, 205 Live is a thing. I don't know how many more episodes we're going to get out of it. Just the same as this week's NXT is the last regular 1-hour set NXT, because next week things are changing. But we got Drew Gulak. He's the champion. He's been holding his own for a bit now, and he's got Tony Nese back under his wing as a buddy. Heel turn. Didn't see that coming. I'll be honest with you there. He's defending, originally set to be Humberto Carrillo, a character I just cannot stand. Oh my gosh, just one of the blandest things, and the wrestling just doesn't make up for it. When you're a wrestling fan, there's just some characters some people feel like they need to hate. This one's mine. Oh, I can't stand this guy. Oh, I'm like Nigel McGuinness on this guy. I just cannot stand him. But he's in the match. Originally, it was just supposed to be him challenging Gulak. However, he lost a match to Lince Dorado the other week, and Lince, winning that match, did qualify for a championship match. So he's in this too. Lince Dorado, Humberto Carrillo, Drew Gulak. I do not see the championship changing hands, especially if the brand is moving to NXT. You need a strong champion to start off that, and that man is Drew Gulak. I think Drew Gulak will pin Lince Dorado to get the win, especially because Lince pinned Gulak in the tag team match this week on 205. So 50-50 booking. Let's put it like that. Humberto doesn't lose, but he is not taking that title. Oh, please. And if Lince wins, great. I love Lince Dorado. He's fun. So go for it. But I'm picking Drew Gulak. Moving on. Let's talk about the Raw Tag Team Championship match next. We got Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, the unlikely-ish champions. They beat the club some weeks ago to get the titles. They've had their dissension mainly because they are going to be in a Universal Championship match together on the show, just in case you haven't already figured that out. But they are defending their newly won gold against the team that won a gauntlet match to get this spot some weeks ago. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And before you correct me, I will not acknowledge him as Robert Roode. He's Bobby Roode, except that's just something that you have to deal with me. Some names I will just not adapt to the new ones. Like, for example, Ivar and Eric of the Viking Raiders. I don't mind War Raiders being changed to Viking Raiders. I am not changing their first names unless I say it unconsciously. It's Hansen and Rowe. I'm not changing that. You can go ahead and change what you want. It's your show. But I'm not. Same goes for Bobby Roode. So it's Roode and Ziggler, a team known now as Rudolph, basically. And if you squint looking at them, they look like Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect. So you'll love them. And I will pick them. I think that Roode and Ziggler are a strong enough team at this point to get the titles. Obviously, adding more storyline to Braun and Seth's later title match, that they don't like each other now. They lost the titles. Let's get to the real deal here. And honestly, a lot of people saying the tag team division is still sort of dying. I kind of think Ziggler and Roode would be a good way to reboot Raws. It would be a nice touch, especially if they can get help from the club to get the win. I see that happening. The question is, who would you pin? Would you pin Strowman, or would you pin the Universal Champion? This is a tough decision to say how they're going to win. But I do think they will win the match. Maybe not the titles, but I think they should win the match. They shouldn't just be thrown aside like garbage, even though that's literally Dolph Ziggler's career at this point. Sad to say, but look at the past year and more. You might agree with me. But I am picking Ziggler and Roode. We'll see what happens. Moving on. U.S. Championship match. Speaking of the club, let's talk about AJ Styles. I don't really know how to put this, but AJ and the United States Championship is sort of losing its luster. The Ricochet feud started off hot, but then SummerSlam was just sort of there. And now it's versus Cedric Alexander, a man who's pinned AJ. Great. I'm completely fine with that. But here's the problem. Am I supposed to believe Cedric's going to win the United States title? I don't see it. I'm going to pick AJ Styles, but I really think WWE needs to focus more on AJ and being US champion, not AJ and getting in the business of the Universal title. We need to cut that after this show. AJ needs to be focused on his title, making it a bigger deal, and fighting new people. I'm sick of AJ in the whole Rollins Strowman picture. So sick and tired of it. But I put up with it for a while because honestly, here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought Braun Strowman was going to win the United States title and do triple duty on this show. I thought he would challenge Rollins, he would defend with Rollins, and he would defend his US Championship against maybe AJ or somebody else. That's what I thought they could do for Braun, but then they didn't do it, and AJ's just sort of still there. They need to make a bigger deal out of this, have a good match, AJ wins, maybe he cheats with the club. It doesn't matter. You need to refocus on this guy. Moving on. Okay, SmackDown Tag Team Championship next. So, we have the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods, who haven't really been seen lately because of all the attacks and the so-called injuries given to them by Randy Orton and the Revival. They are defending against the Revival. How are New Day supposed to win this? I find this very hard to believe unless Randy Orton interferes, causing a DQ, and they just destroy Woods and E, making sure that Kofi gets no help for later on. That's the only way I can see New Day leaving with those titles. I'm picking the Revival. That said and done. Like I said, the only way New Day is winning or keeping the titles is if Randy Orton interferes in this match. I'm picking the Revival to win the championships. Maybe Kofi comes out and helps. It's really hard this match to try to come up with a winner because there's so many great options that you can put in this, but I'm picking the Revival to win. Moving on. So let's go with one of my more risky-er picks. Haha, risque. Roman Reigns versus Rowan. I really didn't think much of this match until it was made no disqualification. Ho, ho, ho. So, obviously the storyline is that Rowan attacked Roman Reigns, supposedly trying to hospitalize the man. Or do worse, storyline-wise. But Roman Reigns obviously still here. He found out it was Rowan. Daniel Bryan and Rowan supposedly broke up, and it was made more convincingly when Rowan put Bryan through a table. We haven't seen Bryan since then. So what happens here now that Roman finally gets a revenge match? Here's what I think. This is not going to be the bloody obvious. Roman Reigns is not going to win. Rowan will get help from Daniel Bryan and or possibly Luke Harper. I would not mind that. Just picture it. Picture Harper returning and the Bludgeon Brothers completely kill Roman Reigns and Rowan gets the win. It's no disqualification. I can guarantee you that Roman Reigns is not going to be having any assistance in this match. If it is, maybe it'll be Murphy, but I find that very unlikely. I think, though, Daniel Bryan should be revealed as the puppet master. He's the one who orchestrated the attacks. And we set up Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Hell in the Cell. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. If not, you can still have Harper return, interfere, and set up Bludgeon Brothers versus Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. That's still marketable and watchable. So, either way, I'm picking Rowan. This shouldn't be thrown aside like garbage. It's time to really show that this storyline had more potential than everyone saw. There we go. If Roman Reigns wins, then he wins. I'm not really going to complain about that, but I want the more interesting option that gets Roman a bigger win later on. Moving on. So next up, let's get something over with that I discussed earlier. Women's Tag Team Championship. So we have Bliss and Cross. They've been working well for the past month and a half as champions now. It's been okay. They're defending against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, a team a lot of people are just looking to the side on, like, oh, let's just throw another team that's sort of there against Bliss and Cross. Here's the thing. The storyline that they seem to be working with right now is Mandy Rose calling Nikki Cross ugly and unpretty, undesirable, comparing herself to Nikki Cross. First of all, that is really not true. I'll be honest, Nikki Cross is probably one of the cutest people I've ever seen on the WWE roster. She is great. She's a perfect character. Second of all, okay, we're building that story, but Nikki Cross beat Mandy Rose with a roll-up on SmackDown. Wouldn't you have it the other way going into the pay-per-view with simple 50-50 booking? Here's another risque pick. I'm actually going to pick Mandy and Sonya to win the titles. They are long overdue for them. And I think they win here, they shock everybody, they pin Cross, and maybe Bliss and Cross get the titles back. Maybe even the next show they get them back. But I think Fire and Desire get them here. I think they're going to win. Just for the sake of what just happened. I didn't see that coming. It's a risky pick, but like I said, there was going to be a few in this video. There's another one. Moving on. Okay, here's another one. Intercontinental Championship match. A match I've actually been talking about since it was really announced or when you put it together that they're going to fight. Shinsuke Nakamura has been a replacement champion for Finn Balor. That's all he's been. He hasn't been relevant with the championship. I'm not interested in seeing him with the IC title anymore. Nakamura is like a dead horse in the WWE right now. I'm glad you give him a bone, but it's not like he's going to do much with it. Sami Zayn is a fun mouthpiece, but here's the thing. WWE has taught me this year, you put Sami Zayn with anything, it's garbage. He's a loser. That's his character now. He's a loser. I don't have any faith in heel Sami Zayn anymore. Face Sami Zayn is my best friend, but heel Sami Zayn is trash. Sami Zayn will not be a good pick for Nakamura's bodyguard / interference man. I think The Miz is going to win the Intercontinental Championship. Let's change it up. Miz finally gets his 9th. Maybe Nakamura gets it back and Miz beats him again to get his 10th. We bury the Chris Jericho record of Intercontinental Championships in the WWE, which I don't think Jericho would really care about. He's the AEW champion. He has better things in his life to worry about than holding a record. So, The Miz. I love The Miz. I feel so bad for how he's been treated this year. How about you win the Intercontinental title? Let's go. Moving on. You know what? WWE Championship match. Yeah, WWE Championship match. Kofi Kingston is defending against Randy Orton again after their double countout at SummerSlam, which really disappointed the crowd. Would you do it again and save it for Hell in a Cell? Now, here's the thing. How many cell matches are we planning to do this year? I feel like the norm is 2, but I feel like there's a potential for 3. 2 of them for the World Championships, and 1 of them between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, which is still a possibility and on the table. This could be Randy Orton's title win, but I'm not confident enough to do it this time. I'll admit to you guys, SummerSlam, I thought they were going to give it to Randy and have him keep it until Kofi wins it back in Hell in a Cell. I'm not confident this time. I'm not confident that Randy Orton's winning the championship at this show. I'm picking Kofi Kingston to keep the championship. I'm not picking a winner. I'm picking a champion to retain the title. This could either end in more shenanigans. Orton could somehow just win, and that finally just happened. Or Kofi wins, and we go to Hell in a Cell. That's how I'm seeing this. And if the feud ends here, wow. Just wow. I don't even know how to react to it if it just ends here. Meh. Moving on. SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley, who recently apparently turned heel, but really isn't much of a heel, defending against Charlotte. If Bayley loses the title, wow. That would be so poor. So I'm picking Bayley to keep the championship. I don't have much to comment on this. If Bayley loses the title, that is really sad. Because Charlotte certainly doesn't need it right now. She seems stuck between heel and face on Big Show levels of turns. So I'm picking Bayley. Let's go, Bayley. On to the Raw Women's Championship match. We have Becky Lynch defending against Sasha Banks. Ooh, do we save Sasha's title win for another show, or do we do it right now? Because Becky Lynch is still built as the lady who beat Ronda Rousey. Is Sasha Banks big enough with her return to win the title? You know what? I don't think Sasha Banks is going to win the championship on this show. I don't think so. As hard as it is to believe, WWE don't really have Sasha as a full investment yet, clearly, because they're not willing to put Bayley in a full heel situation with her. Even though it's been working okay so far, it wasn't immediate. So, oh boy. Oh boy. This is incredibly hard to predict, but here it goes. I think Becky Lynch is going to keep the championships a championship, excuse me. But I think Sasha Banks should win this match. There's a lot of screwy finishes that have the potential to be on the show. I'm certain we'll see at least one. But maybe it's this match. I think Becky Lynch is barely going to squeeze out. She's not going to submit Sasha. That would be a very poor choice. Hopefully, Becky either wins with a roll-up or Sasha wins via some other shenanigans, DQ countout, Becky leaves with the title. So there's my pick. Becky Lynch is leaving with the championship. So with all that said, let's try to put this main event together. Seth Rollins is defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman. Okay, got that. Bray Wyatt wants a Universal Championship match at Hell in a Cell. He's made that very clear. And we don't know about Brock Lesnar. There's a lot of potential for a very screwy finish in this match. Or do we wait until the match is finished? I think WWE are trying to sucker us in to believe that these two won't have a proper finish. I'm picking Seth Rollins to win via pinfall. I think Seth should win, and if you're going to do anything crazy, do it after the match. Because a lot of people expect something. It doesn't mean we have to ruin the match. It means we can have the match and then have it after. If Seth Rollins wins and nothing happens, I don't know, that's just kind of there, isn't it? We just have Braun lose another Universal Championship match? I don't know. We'll see. I think the show won't just be some C-rated look-off show. I think there's potential for important things to happen to get our attention worthwhile. Let's see if it delivers. And like that, we're done. Predictions over. Cannot wait to see you guys after Sunday for hopefully a show to remember. But until then, we have much to look forward to, and we have no reason to be negative yet. Done. Thank you all so much for watching my return once again with some predictions. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you are looking most forward to at Clash of Champions. And what do you expect to see? Because there's potential to be something. Something good, something memorable, something that gets us out of our seats. Let's hope so. In the meantime, have a great weekend. See you all later. And remember, have a great Friday the 13th, and always watch your backs. Keep it real.